Hey everyone, and welcome to Balancing Act, the podcast where we explore how to thrive in a world that never stops moving. I'm Chris.
And I'm Jessica. Today, we're tackling a topic that's close to all of us: the impact of modern busy life on our well being.
Here's something that stopped me in my tracks. The average person checks their phone 96 times per day, which means we're interrupting ourselves every 10 minutes of our waking life. And that got me thinking about what this constant connectivity is doing to us.
The way you put that really highlights how we've normalized this kind of digital addiction. And it's not just about phone checks, it's about what those interruptions are doing to our mental state.
Well, what's fascinating is how this ties into our stress levels. Research shows that each notification triggers a small cortisol spike, our stress hormone. So we're essentially giving ourselves 96 microdoses of stress every single day.
Hmm, that explains why so many people report feeling exhausted even when they haven't done anything physically demanding.
Exactly right. And here's where it gets really interesting. Studies show that people working more than 50 hours per week are 13% more likely to develop unhealthy coping mechanisms, like heavy alcohol consumption. It's like we're caught in this cycle of stress and poor self care.
You know what really strikes me about those numbers? How they reflect this bigger cultural shift where being constantly busy has become some kind of status symbol.
Oh man, let me tell you about that. There's actually research showing that people who humble brag about being crazy busy are subconsciously trying to signal their importance. It's like we've created this weird social currency out of exhaustion.
That's exactly what I've noticed in my social circles. But what's the real cost of maintaining this always on lifestyle?
Well, the numbers are pretty sobering. Companies are losing about $300 billion annually to stress related healthcare and missed work. And on a personal level, people who regularly work long hours have a 40% higher risk of developing heart disease.
The way you frame those statistics really puts things in perspective. And then there's the impact on our relationships.
Right. Studies show that parents today spend 40% less time with their children compared to the previous generation, despite ranking family time as their top priority. We're seeing this massive disconnect between what people value and how they actually spend their time.
So, what solutions have emerged from all this research? What's actually working for people?
Um, this is where it gets encouraging. Companies that have implemented 4-day work weeks have seen productivity increase by up to 40%, while employee stress levels dropped by 45%. And something as simple as implementing tech free times has been shown to improve sleep quality by 28%.
Those are really meaningful improvements from relatively straightforward changes.
And here's what's particularly interesting: mindfulness practices, which many people dismiss as too time consuming, have been shown to reduce stress levels by up to 40% in regular practitioners. Even a 20-minute daily walk can decrease cortisol levels by 10 to 20%.
The science behind these simple interventions is really compelling.
You know what else caught my attention? Companies with strong wellness programs see a return on investment of $3.27 for every dollar spent. It's like we're finally getting hard data showing that taking care of people isn't just nice, it's profitable.
Well, that really challenges the old notion that productivity and well being are somehow at odds with each other.
Exactly. And here's the kicker: people with strong social connections have a 50% increased chance of longevity compared to those who are socially isolated. Yet we're often too busy maintaining surface level connections to build these deeper relationships.
That statistic about longevity really drives home how fundamental these connections are to our well being.
And looking ahead, there's actually reason for optimism. The pandemic forced many organizations to experiment with flexible work arrangements, and the data shows that 65% of employees are more productive in a flexible environment. It's like we're finally starting to question these old assumptions about work and success.
The evidence really seems to be pointing toward a major shift in how we think about productivity and well being.
Absolutely right. And perhaps that's the most important takeaway. This isn't about completely overhauling our lives overnight. Research shows that people who make incremental changes are 65% more likely to maintain them long term. It's about making conscious choices, setting boundaries, and recognizing that our well-being isn't just important, it's essential for sustainable success. All right, folks, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, you're a human being, not a human doing.